about Matt. So Matt's start date was January 11th of 2012. Got it right this time. Matt started his push for assistant management like on his anniversary of his start date in 2015, which is pretty cool. This day, right here, picture. So Matt started originally on Verizon Fios residential in Massachusetts. He moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado in January to work with Jason Goldberg for CenturyLink Prison Residential. And then in November of 2013, Matt moved here to Newark, Delaware with me and our expansion crew to work with Verizon Fios Residential. So when I first started in the company, I remember coming in for my interview, and Matt was sitting there with his fake faux hawk, whatever that is, the tidal wave. He was the guy in charge of sitting at the lobby, and I did not like him at all. I don't know why. He kept trying to build a relationship with me, so I didn't know that was their job. And I didn't want to build a relationship with him, so he kept asking me questions, and I would literally ignore him. I was like, there were like 7 second-round interviews in the room, and I was like the only one that wouldn't talk. He'll probably also talk about in his speech how much he did not like me when I was sitting there because I refused to talk to him. After the hiring process, Matt actually was the teacher for my drug and background pending classes, and that's when I really started to kind of gain respect for Matt, because the top 5 board, which we have like the exact same one, was next to the board here, and I remember it said at the end of the week Matt had high rolled the office for $1,039, and I was like, it was cool to be in these classes and to watch the top 5 updates each morning when I would come in, and getting to see Matt up there, I was just like, all right, well maybe I should give this guy and his faux hawk a chance. So 1 week before we moved to Delaware, Matt actually had 7 people on his crew, so he very well could have stayed back in Colorado Springs, and probably shortly after I left got promoted to assistant management, and we potentially never seen each other except for conferences and maybe family vacations, I don't know. He's only called out of work 1 day since I have known him in the last 2.5 years. Some of you guys have been here for 2 weeks and have called out 4 days. Some of you guys have been here for a week or a month and called out 7 days. I don't know. But that's Skinner. 1 day in the last 2.5 years that I've known him. He's only been without a beard 1 time since I've known him. Hopefully it's the last. And the last thing is that in 2014, I went through and counted every single day that he was on Bell, and he was 200 days on Bell out of 313. It's pretty impressive, right? So that just kind of shows you guys the killer work ethic that Matt has and that he has had the last few years in order to help him to get to where he is today. So I want to kind of go through management qualifications with you guys real quick. So for those of you guys that just started this week, I kind of want you to have a better idea of how we arrived to this point today. So in order for Matt to get promoted to a management position, he has to have 10 people total on his team. So that's 10 people that he and people on his team have trained and interviewed and really developed, okay? The second thing he has to have is 5 first-generation leaders. So 5 of those 10 people have to be people that Matt has personally invested his own time into. So he has to prove that he is actually able to replicate himself in other people, because if he's going to get promoted into a management position, that's ultimately going to be what his job is. The next thing is there has to be 17 people in the office. Pretty sure we have that covered, thanks to our lovely administrators in the back here. And then the last thing is that you have to have 12 people averaging over $500 every single week, because you have to be able to sustain both offices on their own. So now that you guys know kind of how to get to a management role statistically and numbers wise, Casey kind of went into this a little bit as far as like the traits that we look for in a manager. There's a couple that I want to go over as well. So the qualities of a manager that I look for in somebody, and this is good for you guys to know because this is what I'm looking for in the next Matt Skinner. What I'm looking for in you guys to step up to the plate and to the next person promoted and standing up here and me handing you a really expensive crystal trophy. So the first quality that you have to have as a manager, no matter what, is DFW. Anybody know that's new what DFW means? Down for whatever, right? right? So as a manager, it's so important to be down for whatever, because as you guys know, no matter whether you've been here for 2 days or 2 years, you know that this job is full of surprises, and it is a challenge, and it is something brand new every single day. Some days you're gonna walk outside and it's going to be hot. You're gonna need water. Get prepared for that. Some days you're gonna walk outside and it's going to be, I don't know, a hurricane. So I'm pretty sure the last few we've had have had names, the storms. So you're gonna need an umbrella, or maybe it's a lost cause at that point, I don't know. You're gonna need to be down for whatever. And the biggest thing that Goldberg used to teach me when I was going through the field, that has really been instilled in Matt from day one, is that if I say jump, he says how high. And that really is a true description of somebody who's literally down to do whatever it takes to get to a management position. So there's nobody else in this room that wanted it more than Matt Skinner wanted it, because he's literally the definition of someone who's down for whatever. Second quality of someone, or what I'm looking for in a manager, is reliability. So for me as a business owner, me being able to rely on you guys as employees is a really large part of this business running smoothly. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that Matt Skinner is going to be there no matter what. And I know that even moving forward after today, that Matt Skinner is always going to show up to work in Harrisburg, whether I'm there or not. Just Kat will call me and tell me. I'm going to call the chef every day. No, but I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that, because in entry level we learn self-management. We teach ourselves how to be independent. We teach ourselves how to be an adult and how to function properly and how to run businesses. I know that Matt is over-prepared on how to run a business. And I know that he's going to be reliable, not only to me, but he's going to be reliable on you guys going to Harrisburg. You guys can take comfort in knowing that no matter what happens in that office, that guy right there will always be there. He's never going anywhere. The third thing that I look for as a quality in a manager is humility. And Casey kind of touched on, like I said, some of these already before. But one of the most important parts of this business is being able to love your people and being selfless. So having humility and never forgetting where you came from is so important. There is not a single promotion that Matt is going to ever receive, or a single bonus that Matt is ever going to receive, that is going to blow his head up too big to where he's going to forget that he is one of 11 siblings that he has to take care of back home. It just doesn't work that way. So humility is something that's really big in this business. The fourth thing is compassion. So loving your people and loving their goals and being invested in what they care about and what they're passionate about. Being compassionate about your people is really, really important, because this is a people-building people business. My goals are always going to be my goals, but it is so much more gratifying for my goal to be to get Matt Skinner to hit his goals, and for Matt Skinner to get Hugo to hit his goals. That's why we do what we do. And that's really the true definition of compassion. The last thing is selflessness. So no matter what, always putting your people before you. Like Casey said, there have been countless times that I've sacrificed a lot of things in my life for this business. But honestly, I don't really consider those things sacrifices. To me, I consider them more of an investment. You guys are my life. This company is my life, and this is an investment in not only my future, but my future family's future, and your guys' future, and your future family's future. Being able to think about on down the road when Matt has kids and I get to be a part of their life, that's pretty cool. That's something that I can't really get anywhere else. And I only got to earn that right by being selfless, and Matt's going to earn that right as well. All right. This is where it gets sketch. All right.
Wow.
All right. I got some interaction parts I'm going to need from you guys in a second, all right? All right, cool. So, like I said, I'm not going to take much more of Matt's day, because he's waited 3 years to stand up here and give this speech to you, and I've waited 6 months to give him this trophy. And I put it a really long time ago, and it took Casey, Jordan, and I like 4 days to figure out what quote we were going to put on it. But I'm going to go over some individual props real quick. The last 2.5 years have been an immense privilege of literally working with the best people in the business. And that's not an exaggeration at all, because you guys see the rankings. You guys know that you're the best. You guys know that in this office, you're literally working with the best people in this business. And that's awesome. And more importantly, those people that are the best people in the business have become my best friends and my family, really. So that's something that's priceless. I've been able to create the greatest memories with every single one of you guys, and I'm really, really grateful for that.